Good morning. This is to be part 5 in the Premonitions series that I'm doing, trying to give you some background as to how the Lord has dealt with me or what he has worked me through. As you might remember, when I was 13 and near the beginning of my relationship with the Lord, he began to do things through what I came to call or think of as premonitions. And one of those keys was that of my death at age 23. And over the years, in that time, in those 10 years, he showed me that these things were absolutely true. I came to understand them better and better. I don't know to what extent these were of him or allowed of him. I don't know exactly how those things work, but I thank God for his faithfulness and for his mercy, which is undeserved, but he gives it of his own character. And so when it came to this age, 23, I had always figured it would be in 1985. 1985 is when the majority of my 23rd year is, my birthday being March 21st, the 80th day of the year, 81st during leap years. So I figured it would be in 1985. And as it turned out, the day of disaster, as it were, would turn out to be exactly 5 months after my birthday, and almost exactly 18 months after I had the news about my sister-in-law, Barb, and her passing. I came to understand later that when she had been struck by the car, she actually was alive for 5 or 6 days or something, of course, but she never recovered and passed away. And so these things were all leading up to that key time. And when 1985 came, what can I say? I was not ready. I mean, this never left my mind, that premonition, that foresight of age 23. It had never left my mind during those years. But I have to say that when 1985 came, I was not with the Lord. I mean, I was still a religion major, still in college, but I was worldly, I was wicked, I was evil. I mean, almost from the day that I began college, I was falling away from the Lord. That relationship that had been so close throughout high school just utterly got plowed under by the world, got totally blinded, very much the thorns, as it is in the parable of the sower, that Jesus had given to us. The thorns had grown up and covered, and it's not that I didn't believe in God or believe that he had shown me mercy, but I was doing some very wicked things. And during this 1985 and beyond, there was chastening. God did not want to bring this final judgment upon me, all the way leading up to this time. It was a very, very bad year. And as it came about, as the time of judgment came about, of course, I didn't know what was happening. But one of the keys that had happened a little bit before this is when I was at work, someone in a stolen car had careened through the parking lot and utterly destroyed my car that I had there. And I was still registered. Of course, I'm in the Boston area at this time, and I was still registered in Pennsylvania. And so the insurance compensation for this was slow in coming. And I began riding bicycle back and forth to work, which was in South Boston. It wasn't really the heart of Boston, and everything still is well lit, some good roads and stuff. But I was waiting, for the compensation for the car so that I could get another. But things weren't that comfortable. In fact, I even remember on this said morning, August 21st, I was talking to my girlfriend on the phone. She was away on vacation, kind of taking a break with some friends. And I had told her that unless I get this, unless I can get another car soon, something bad is going to happen. As it turned out, that very night, it happened. I was getting intimations of this all year long, brethren. Now, some people, at this point would say, well, I know you were bad, but you were still saved. Everything, would have been all right if you had died. And I'm just telling you that I don't believe that. Okay, I don't believe the Bible shows us that. We can disagree on this if you like. I am leaving a link to a blog that I had done, The Saving Faith of a Christian. Certainly, God is not going to easily cast us away. It is our choice as to what we do. And if you are his, he will pursue you with chastening as it is. So nonetheless, August 21st came, and I was spending long days at work since my girlfriend wasn't there. I was, impressing people, getting things together. And as I came home from work late that night, 11 o'clock-ish, someone coming back from a bar hit me while I was on bicycle. And I don't have a lot of specific memory of that. As a matter of fact, I didn't remember, like riding home. I woke up in the hospital about 2 days, maybe not 2 full days after this. The telltale of the injury, of course, as you see, I did not die. God had mercy upon me. And we know by his word, even in examples like with Hezekiah, of course, Hezekiah was in right relationship, but God gave him 15 extra years. And the final telltale of my injury was I had my left ankle was broken in 2 places. I had a fractured pelvis in the left side. That must have been where the impact was. I had brain contusions with swelling on the brain from my head hitting the road. This is very telling. It really makes things cloudy. My reasoning was cloudy for some time, maybe a month. And even for months after that, sometimes I'd have undue bouts with anger over things until the swelling, it's slow in going away. Beside that, multiple cuts and abrasions and a rather undiagnosed injury to my groin area. But these things were all very telling. God was merciful and simply telling me afterwards that he showed me that from that accident, I was meant to die, but he decided to have mercy on me. And this is something that will affect me the rest of my life, and it did then. I wish I could say that this was drastic change coming, but it wasn't. One of the things that I wanted to say is that I always look back on this time, and I see what a terrible time I was having in my life with these things, all these bad things that were leading up to the accident. And I know God didn't want to bring that time. It was so faithful and loving. And that's how I see it. But it's like today, those of the church have no stomach for chastening. They don't know that God is chastening so that he won't have to judge us with the world. He's trying to perfect us and get these serious problems out of us because we are his. And as his children, that's why he chastens us. He can't chasten those that don't know him, but he will chasten those that know him or have known him. As I have said, there were no drastic changes overnight. This is one of the keys that I would urge anyone. If you're experiencing God's chastening or he is moving in your life, I would just encourage you, take time to be with the Lord. Seek him diligently, often and long. The pressure of the world is to get in there, keep going, do what everybody else is doing. And that's how it was for me. Get healed, get back on your feet, get into your job, get another car, get an apartment, do this. None of those things matter in eternity. And so I urge you not to follow in this way that I had gone. Prepare to meet God. This is one of the ways I see these last days. We are getting ready to meet the Lord. Not in a pre-tribulation rapture, but still, it is a serious time, and we need to get serious with him. I intend to have 2 more parts in this Premonition series. I again ask you to study the scriptures listed in the description. They are supporting for this particular video. And all of this, of course, is mostly just to explain where I'm coming from, what I'm seeing. And yes, please check out the link to that blog. God is not ready to cast us away in any sense, but I really don't believe there is any once saved, always saved. We still have our choices. Let's make the right ones. May God bless you today.